Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel, Reading Ideas. I've not been posting for about 3 weeks. I've been away to Brisbane, Australia. What a trip that was. I'll put up a video of that at some point once I've sorted myself out. But I've been very kindly tagged by Gavin at Genre Books. He's doing brilliant, really interesting channel. Really loves his books. And the tag is the I Dare You tag. And apparently it's an orphan tag. Nobody knows who started it. There's 20 prompts. So let's get to it. Number 1. What book has been on your shelf the longest? Now, let's see, I've got quite a few bookshelves and I can't lay my hands on it at the moment. But I think it's called The Dragon Book, and it was my grandfather's book. It's all different things about ancient China, sayings by Buddha. It always fascinated me, and that's probably the book. Well, it was on my grandfather's bookshelf and was handed down to me. And I'm going to find it, and I'll do an episode on it. Number 2, what is your current read, last read, and the book you'll read next? I am just part way through Kid Rodello or Rodillo. I reckon it's Rodello. Louis L'Amour. I took a few Louis L'Amours with me. Was it to read in the airport? Nice, easy, lovely reads. So I've read a few Louis L'Amours that has kept me going, and I think I'm going to be reading a Maigret next, but I might change my mind. Number 3, what book did everyone like but you hated? Well, there's 2 that come to mind: Catcher in the Rye and The Great Gatsby. Yeah, neither were for me. But, that's what's great. People have different opinions. Number 4, what book do you keep telling yourself you'll read, but you probably won't? There's probably a few. I've got a big stack of Shakespeare. I'm going to try and read a few more, but I don't think I'll get through them all. Similar with, I've got a giant stack of Agatha Christie's, and I picked one up and I just didn't kind of go for it. So that might sit there as well, but who knows? What book? So that was 4. 5. What book are you saving for retirement? Well, anything. I'm retired. So all of them. 6. Last page. Read it first or wait till the end. You've got to be a bit of a sociopath if that's what you're doing. You can't be doing that. I actually Googled it and it came up with the answer that people who do that are into control, predictability, and are into anxiety reduction. Well, I don't know about that, but the mother-in-law does it. No, it's just wrong. Why would you do it? Wrong. No. 7. Acknowledgement. Waste of paper and ink, or interesting aside? Well, it's a little bit related to question 6, and maybe that's why the person wrote the list this way. A book to me it's kind of a little bit like a sacred thing. The author's given of themselves. They've written the complete book, beginning to end. So you don't be reading the last page first. And the acknowledgement, it kind of anything like an introduction or anything like that, I always leave until after the book. I like to read a book from beginning to end. I might DNF if it's no good or I'm not enjoying it. But I like to read it from beginning to end, without any kind of undue influence. So, yeah, maybe afterwards, but yeah, I don't want to risk polluting the actual book. 8. Which book character would you switch places with? Now, when I was reading them, it kind of felt a bit tempting. There's the series by James Clavell. Not so much Shogun, but the other ones, Taipan, Gaijin, Noble House. It's all about characters of a family, the dynasty, how they're plotting long term, really important people, rich business people, romances, enemies. That was kind of like, to kind of have that kind of, that level of interesting life, and for it to kind of go on through generations. I thought, what could be wrong with being rich, powerful, living an exciting life, businesses, interesting ladies, and it kind of going over generations. So that's what came to mind. So James Clavell's series. 9. Do you have a book that reminds you of something specific in your life? Place, time, person. I think the reading Hemingway reminds me of being at university. That's when I kind of discovered him and his writing. Really loved Hemingway and grown-up themes, and being away in London, lots of people from abroad. So it kind of connects the two. 10. Name a book that you acquired in an interesting way. So I'll go back to that first book I mentioned. My grandfather died when I was quite young. I was just over 6. My younger brother never got to see him. It was a 7-year difference between us, so he missed out on seeing him. So inheriting that from my grandfather. And 11. Have you ever given a book away for a special reason to a special person? I've given away quite a few books, but when I went to Australia, I took some books because the person that I went and stayed with, the couple that I stayed with, he's a very big reader. So I took May Gray, Louis L'Amour, and what else did I take? Took a couple of other books as well that he didn't know much about. So that was quite recent, so that's why it kind of stuck in my mind. Which book has been with you most places? It's probably that dragon book that's followed me around. And 13. Any required reading you hated in high school that wasn't so bad 2 years later? I don't know about 2 years later, but all reading in school wasn't great. Teachers weren't particularly inspiring. It was a tough school that I went to. You're quite a tough school in the north of England, and the kids were not interested in reading, and it was a chore for the teacher, and it came across. But I can vaguely remember, and I don't think we even read the book. It was just a snippet out of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Why you'd read a snippet rather than the full book? Probably the rest of the class wouldn't kind of put up with it, but reading it years later, this last year, what an absolute fabulous book. What a great writer Robert Louis Stevenson is. Kidnapped and Treasure Island, and I've got the others on the bookshelves to come as well. So I'll say that. 14, used or brand new. By far the most books that I buy are used. Most brand new books over the last 10 years are absolutely awful. Publishing, along with most media, are absolutely killing themselves over their bloody woke nonsense that they're doing. But that's just my opinion. But numbers don't lie. And 15, have you ever read a Dan Brown book? I haven't, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously he sold a lot of books, but yeah, never been tempted, don't know why, but yeah. 16, have you ever seen a movie you liked better than the book? That's a difficult one. What came to mind, and this could be sacrilegious, is I really enjoyed the film of Moby Dick. The start of it in particular, where they're loading it up, you know, the black and white, all the characters. Oh, how exciting it is when they're going on the adventure. But it was a long while ago, but I tried to read Moby Dick, and yeah, I ended up putting it down. Yeah, I'll probably go back to it at some point and give it another try. Maybe I was a bit young in trying to read it, who knows, but that's what came to mind. 17, have you ever read a book that's made you hungry, cookbooks included? I don't think I have. However, I mentioned before about Hemingway, and he liked to drink, Hemingway, and he said wine was food, so I will class it as food. And maybe it was because alcohol was banned in the United States at the time, and that was one of the reasons that dragged him to Europe. But he talks so passionately about wine and having wine with meals, and he mentioned a couple of French wines, one of which was Sancerre, and I went out and bought a bottle, opened it up, that fruity smell. So I'll say Hemingway, Sancerre, wine as food. 18, who is the person whose book advice you'll always take? The person that comes to mind is Nassim Nicholas Taleb. Probably he was a trader. He's kind of like a modern philosopher. He's an expert in probability, and yeah, absolute genius. And he's probably one of the most well-read people on the planet. And yeah, he's a genius. So yeah, Nassim Nicholas Taleb. 19, is there a book out of your comfort zone, e.g. out of your usual genre, that you ended up loving? I can't really... I would say Louis L'Amour. I'd never thought of reading any westerns. I came across, I think it was 17 of his books for a £5 in a charity shop. I picked them up thinking that I would exchange them for something else, or that it was a good deal. But I just gave one a go, and they are fabulous. A lovely, lovely read. So that's the I Dare You book tag concluded, and it only remains to tag some people. So I will round up the usual suspects. Happy reading, everybody.